Hi, welcome back. I wanted to touch on Merit's latest launch, which I'm sure we've all seen by now, the Solo Shadows. Very exciting launch, at least for me, from Merit. We all know I'm a big Merit fan. I think a lot of you all are too. And when I saw they were releasing cream eyeshadows, I mean, immediately, the day that they launched, I actually ordered 6. Is there 8? I think there's 8 shades. Yeah, there's 8. And I ordered 6 myself. And then they ended up sending me 2. So I have all of the shades to not only swatch for you, but I thought we would just play around with these today. I've actually been wearing them for a couple of weeks, so I feel like I can give you pretty accurate feedback on how a lot of the shades perform for me. I'm dying to use Midnight and Viper, which are these darker shades. Viper is the green and Midnight is the navy blue. But I'm also filming another video today, and it's actually rating my skin tints, and I think that should go up before this one. A little bit more neutral, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really want to be sporting a heavy navy eye for that video. I'm going to try and use 4 shades just to showcase as many as I can, and the 4 I think I'm going to use are Social, Nelson, Brun, and Studio. I have used Studio and Brun so far, but Nelson was one of the newer shades that I didn't order that Merit actually sent me, so I haven't played with that one yet. And Social, I have only worn like a tiny little tap on my eyes. It's more of like the mauve purple. So we're going to play around with, I would say these are more cool tone shades today. So all of these shades are matte, and they are described as more of a cream to powder formula, which I would agree with. I do find that these dry down and they have a stronger grip than what I was expecting. I don't know why, just with Merit products in general, you know, they're beautiful products, but not always the longest lasting. So I wasn't expecting these to have as much hold as they do, but they truly do hold on to the eyes really well. I think it's Brun, the dark brown here. I've noticed that it's a little bit drier, and same goes for the Midnight color compared to some of the lighter shades. And I don't know if that's on purpose. You know, darker shades like that can tend to skip on the eyes. So I did find the darker brown a little bit harder to blend than the lighter colors, but we're gonna play around a little bit more today and see what we get. I think I'm gonna start out with Studio, which is more of like a cool tone skin tone shade. This to me is more of a cooler tone transitional shade. They also have a shade called Vachetta, which is very similar to this, except it runs a little bit more on the warm side. So this one, in my opinion, runs more cool tone. Kind of reminds me of like a clay tone, but again, running more in the pink cool arena. So this is the brush that Merit released with the Solo Shadows. This is my first time using this brush because, like I said, I ordered 6 shades upon the release, and for some reason I didn't order the brush. I don't know why, but I ended up lucking out because Merit sent me the brush with the 2 shades that they sent my way. So I'm going to use this today and give some feedback. By the way, I do plan on finishing up the rest of my makeup. I just kind of wanted to get straight into the eyes here. So you can see it's definitely giving off that clay tone, and depending on what your skin tone is, obviously these are going to translate differently for everyone. Now with tones like this, I really try not to go overboard because with my particular skin tone, sometimes they can make me look sick. So I'm only gonna apply like a very sheer layer of this as a base for, I think Studio the next, no, this one's called Studio. Social is gonna be the next color that I apply on top of this. So next I'm going to take Social. I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like more full on because I did a sheer wash of it. I think like the first day I got these in, just, you know, playing around. So I'm just going to apply it mainly to the lower portion. It's coming off a little bit darker. I have to say, I was expecting this color to be more purple, like more lavender, and in reality, it's definitely, in my opinion, more like a true mauve. On the website, I think it comes off more purple because my friend Daisy Cash, she got these in before I got mine in. And when I saw her use this one, I was like, I just was expecting it to be more purple. So keep in mind, if you see this on the website and it's coming off purple to you, it's really not. It's definitely, I would say, a true mauve. That's something I kind of was not expecting with this formula. I actually wasn't expecting it to dry down at all, but these do dry down. And honestly, if I haven't applied as many colors as I'm going to today, but I've been using like 2 shades. And if I just do like a normal wash, it's been holding up really well for me. So I would say in the longevity department, it's definitely surprising me. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna try Nelson, which is this cool kind of, I don't know if it's gonna come off as more of a brown or a gray on me. It's described, I think, as more of like a slate gray. So I'm gonna use more of the liner tip of this and then maybe diffuse out with the fluffier side. I'm also interested to see if my theory is correct on these darker colors being a little bit drier. This shade might work better just on its own. It's kind of one of those shades, it's not really dark, but it's also not really light. It's like a mid-tone, and so when layered on top of other colors, I don't know if it's performing its best. I'd say this would work better by itself. Like if you're someone who likes that cool smoky gray, this is probably a color to look into. I bet it's gonna look better on my lower lash line too. Yeah, it's not really popping off, you know what I mean? It's adding a little bit of like subtle smoke, but I just think this would probably look better on its own. But we're gonna keep on going. Gonna even out this side. Maybe this one with just the studio probably would have been a better option. I think I'm going to run a little bit more social back over my lid because it's kind of gotten lost in translation here. I will say the tip of this brush is perfect for getting that lower lash line because it's not so stiff that it just creates a dark, heavy line. And it's not so like fluffy as this side so that it doesn't show up. It's kind of like a good middle ground. It really diffuses the lower lash line really well, I think. I'm looking at my eyes in natural sunlight. They're coming off a little bit lighter on the viewfinder, but I don't think I want to take it any darker. This is as dark as I want to go for the day, but I will take Brune so you can see a little bit in action, and I'm going to just use that as liner. So I'm going to brush that just into my lash line to give my lashes like a thicker appearance. And just to clarify, these are called solo shadows for a reason. I truly think they were designed to be used very minimally, so layering like a bunch of colors like I'm doing right now isn't really ideal. Obviously, that's not what they were made for. I'm just trying to give you a sense of how they apply, how some of the shades look in one go around. So if you were thinking about getting these, I would say 2 max would be perfect. A lighter and then a slightly darker tone. All right, let's do a little bit of mascara and we'll finish off the rest of the face as well. Okay, I had to rearrange because of course all of the natural lighting was coming in from the opposite window that I was facing, but here we are. This is kind of like a grungy, moody vibe for me right now. I'm actually into it, but the face is boring. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of Tower 28's Sculptino in the shade Getty. We're gonna add some warmth to the skin. I'm actually wearing 2 separate skin tints on each side of my face because from where I'm doing the rating all of my skin tints video, I had to obviously swatch and demo a ton of skin tints. So I would do one side with a skin tint and then the other side with a different one. And I've been doing that for the past 4 days. So I can get almost all of my skin tints on video and an accurate representation on the face as opposed to just my hand. Now, some of them I had to end up doing on my hand because they were too light for me anyways. But I have the Beauty Blender Bounce skin tint on this side and then bareMinerals Complexion Rescue on this side. Cool. Okay, this I feel like is going to match the vibe of the eyes. This is the Flush Balm from Merit in the shade Mood. And as we transition into fall, I feel like this is very much an appropriate fall color. It's not as dark as it looks, obviously. It's actually more bright than anything. Okay, let's take it on a little bit of this shine. I just have the bareMinerals Original Mineral Veil here. I'm going to pop a little bit through my under eye area and T-zone. Okay, and I'm going to finish this out with Patrick Ta She Strong Lip Liner and the InnBeauty Project Lip Glaze in Merlot. I think this is it. I'm actually feeling, you know, this is a little grungy moment for me. I wanted to touch on a few points for these solo shadows in case you are on the fence or just a little bit more curious. I thought I would give some final input, insight on the formula and wear time and all that. So like I mentioned, as applying these, if you are interested in these, I would personally just go for 1 to 2 shades. They're called solo shadows for a reason. Really, they're kind of meant to be like a one and done, swipe on and go. And I think any of these shades would wear perfectly by themselves. So for example, if you just picked up one, I think it would be, whether it be dark, whether it be mid-tone or some of the lighter shades, you could obviously wear it as a singular shadow and it would look great. I've gotten a lot of questions from my oily eyelid people out there in regards to if this formula would be a win. Honestly, I think it's worth a shot because with some of these colors, I've found that I feel personally they dry down even more than like a caviar stick or a Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. Like when I touch my eyelids right now, I can feel the grip. Like I can feel that it's hanging on there. There's no transfer. And I'll try, if I still have the swatches when I first swatched these on Instagram, I was expecting to just be able to rub them off of my arm. No. I rubbed off with a paper towel, and of course the ones that I swatched last came off a little bit, but the ones that had already been on my arm from being swatched first were holding on tight. Then I took my arm to the sink and scrubbed with water and still couldn't get a lot of the ones that I swatched on first off. So the pigment and the hold on these, I would say, is pretty solid. I am someone who does not mind if shadows crease a little bit. Now, if you're wearing off after like the second, third hour and it's just a messy crease city, yeah, I'm not down with that. If there's a little bit of creasing happening, a little bit of fading, I generally don't mind that. I would say with the shade, is it Studio? Yeah, Studio is the lightest one in my opinion. That's the one that I think will probably fade like the quickest on most people. But for the most part, all of the other shadows or the shades have held up really nicely on me. I forgot to mention this, but these would also be very easy to apply with your finger. I think Merit even says you can use your finger. Obviously, they released a brush for it. Not essential. Really, any eyeshadow brush that you have, I think would work perfectly fine. A MAC 217, a Real Techniques base eyeshadow brush, you know, anything that's just like a good multi-purpose eyeshadow brush will work with this, or your finger. If I were to only pick 2, like if I were going back and just said, hey, I'm only going to pick out 2, after trying them now, the 2 shades I feel pretty confident that I would pick, are Brune and Social. So I'm wearing both of these right now. Brune is the darker brown. Obviously, you know I'm a sucker for a dark brown. It's just so versatile. You can do so many things with it. And then this Social color actually really shocked me. Like I said, I was expecting it to be more purple, but it's a really flattering mauve tone. And I feel like I don't have a shade quite like this in my collection. And also I was worried that it was going to, again, give me that like sick appearance. And I don't know, I don't think it does. It's just a really unique mauve tone. Also, I think really perfect color for the upcoming fall months. So if I could just pick two for like daily wear, these would probably be it. Now, if we're talking some of like the funner tones, hands down, Viper. Again, I have not had the chance to actually wear this on my eyes, but it swatches so beautifully. If you have green eyes, this is gonna be it. It is gonna be a winner chicken dinner, and this one hands down would be my pick. I think it would also pair really nicely with Brune, so I would go with those two. Or if you wanted to go a little bit more cool toned, Nelson, which is what I'm wearing on the outer corner with. So this was like the mid-tone gray, and honestly, I think it would look gorgeous alongside the Viper. It's giving Slytherin vibes, which I am a Slytherin, if y'all didn't know. So I think that is it. I hope you all enjoyed seeing these in action. I'm really excited that I finally got to sit down and play with them some more. You know, I'm a huge fan of Merit. Most of the stuff that they release are honestly weekly staples, if not daily staples in my collection. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I also am gonna post a short. I did a short for Instagram. I'll repost that here so you guys can see another look that I did. And yeah, they'll be linked down below. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.